The following episode of the Maui Chamber of Commerce's Business Matters was originally broadcast on March 12, 2024.
It's time now for Business Matters, brought to you by Mokulele Airlines. Now here's your host, Pam Tumpap.
And a very good morning, Pam. It's yours.
Good morning, Cindy. How are you this morning?
I'm wonderful.
Oh, it is another great day in Maui. Thank you so much for all you do to open the show while Gary is out. I know Gary's going to be back soon.
Yes, thank God.
Well,
this getting up early is not easy, Pam.
I hear you. Well, to everybody joining us this morning, good morning, aloha, welcome to Business Matters Radio Show. I am so pleased to be your host, Pamela Tumpap, President of the Maui Chamber of Commerce. And this morning, I am really excited. We're going to have Barbara Nitis on the show to give us an update on the SBA. Barbara is a public information officer with the U.S. Small Business Administration Office of Disaster Recovery and Resilience. She has been with the agency for over 2 years. She has a master's in international business administration and a bachelor's in labor studies and employment relations with economics. She worked at the European Commission in Brussels for 5 years prior to joining the SBA. And she is tasked with providing information to various local, state, and federal agencies, along with the media, chambers of commerce, and many more stakeholders, just many different organizations throughout the country that she has worked with. This information relates to assistance available for homeowners, renters, businesses, and private nonprofit organizations that were affected by an individual event. And I have to tell you, we have been very blessed to have such a great relationship with the SBA. Always, to be honest with you, but particularly during this time where we're working to recover from the wildfires. So Barbara's here to give us an update. Good morning and welcome to the show, Barbara.
Good morning. Thank you for that nice introduction. I appreciate you all having me here. We're here. That's what I'm saying. We're here to help out that community, especially our businesses out there. Definitely that were affected from those Maui fires and wildfires. So it's from August 8th through September 30th can receive this disaster assistance available to them. So I'm glad. Thank you for your partnership and of course the radio station here, Cindy, for helping us get the word out. At least they know what's out there for them.
Absolutely.
So I'll begin.
It's our great pleasure. Yeah, tell us a little bit about the working capital.
Right. So I'll explain our working capital. Yeah, so I'll explain our working capital loans, which is economic injury disaster loan. So this working capital loan is to help businesses, small agricultural cooperatives, small businesses engaged in agriculture, and most private nonprofit organizations meet their ordinary and necessary financial obligations that cannot be met at the direct result of a disaster. These loans are intended to assist through the disaster recovery period. Basically, small businesses may apply to the SBA for up to $2 million to help meet working capital needs caused by the Maui wildfires, including but not limited to our lease and mortgage payments, payroll, utility payments, accounts payable, and fixed debt payments. But we also have the following benefits to help with disaster recovery, and we have low fixed interest rates, and our terms are up to 30 years. The interest rates are as low as 4%. This is a no cost to apply, no obligation to accept the loan if approved. There are no prepayment penalties. Interest rates, this is the key that we have. Interest rates do not begin to accrue until the 12th month from the date of the first disbursement. And repayment does not begin until the 12th month of the date of the first disbursement, because we have a 12-month grace period. 12-month deferment. Sorry for that. That was a meant deferment.
That's all right.
So I want to make everybody know that this is what is available for them. and we're here to assist in any way. They can just go to the centers. That's one obligation. You can go to there, or they can go to the comply line on disaster.gov/disaster, SBA.gov/disaster. Well, I can explain further as far as the centers if you want me. I don't want to. I know you were talking to me, Pam. So you want to ask a question?
Well, tell everybody a little bit about the different centers and where they can go in person.
Yeah.
And how I think that has helped people kind of walk through the process a little bit more.
Right. So we have the Business Recovery Center. So if they were denied, as far as we get some referrals that will go to those referrals will go to SBDC, which is Small Business Development Center. That's one of our resource partners. And as well as Operation Hope also helps out not just businesses, homeowners, and renters. So everything is really to accommodate everybody for post-disaster, and they're all basically at that Business Recovery Center. There's one downstairs at Maui Research Technology Center, and the hours are for that it is 8 to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, and upstairs, which is the Business Resource Assessment Center, and that's also the same hours, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., and that's upstairs at Suite 202. That's where our resource partners are. There's basically we have a concierge of SBA, but there's also flyers there to help out, and SPDC is also on that same floor to accommodate. It's basically offer free resources, business flyer to help them guide through. As far as anything that's as far as financial statements, startups, anything that they need as far as business assistance. We have also
is such a great treasure there.
Right,
financial counseling and helping people with their business plans.
Exactly, financial counseling, a mentor. That's the key. The counseling. That's what we're trying to help out people like that, because I know people are overwhelmed. And they need that guidance, and that's what it's there for. But we also have, if they can't make it to that Business Recovery Center in Kihei, we have also the Lahaina Civic Center. That's Monday through Friday, 8 to 4 p.m., and then Saturdays 8 to 2 p.m. I just wanted to mention that Monday, March 18th, and March 19th, it is closed, temporary closure, so everybody knows. And then I mentioned also our Kahului Public Library, which is Tuesdays 12 p.m. through 7 p.m. And Wednesdays and Thursdays 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Fridays 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Saturdays 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. And we also have the Council of Native Hawaiian Advancement that we just opened on Monday. That's Monday through Friday 8 to 4 p.m. So we're just trying to accommodate everybody. They can't make it to that Business Recovery Center. They have other options, and also they can apply online. So, and we also, I want to mention, we do have a customer service number, which is at 1-800-659-2955.
I'm going to have you say that again, Barbara, just so we make sure that you get it out.
Slower, sorry. So it's 1-800-295-2955.
Awesome. Now, I've been trying to share with people, especially, we're going through the wildfires, and of course we've seen some who were just immediately devastated and have gone through quite a bit. And other businesses are still seeing, from fewer visitors on island, a slowdown to their business, and they're just now kind of coming around. And I've been trying to encourage them with taxes now, as people are doing their taxes. Some of them are learning more about their loss than maybe.
Oh, I also want to make a correction. I don't want to interrupt you. Sorry, I want to make
sure. Go ahead.
It's 1-800-659-2955.
Okay, say that. Let's repeat that again, just so we make sure.
1-800
the right number.
659-2955.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. So we're finding. I've been encouraging people to really look into these EIDL loans for their business. Because of that great deferment, both in terms of repayment and the interest rate, and it gives them a year, and they don't have to take the money right away. They can accept the loan
exactly,
and take the money later on. So it can even give them longer than a year, because I think they have up to 6 months to accept the loan after being offered it if they want to. So you could have a whole 18 months to decide, because I know many people are really worried about their debt level coming out of COVID. Some already have existing loans. And I was interested to learn from, the administrator, Isabel Guzman, that in other areas like Florida, where they've had, we've all seen how Florida's had hurricane after hurricane, sometimes people have multiple idle loans. And SBA is working with them on that. So and I just got a deadline coming up. So can you talk a little bit about how if you have multiple idle loans, a little bit about how that works, and a little bit about the deadlines people need to know about?
So for the COVID idle loans, automatically they receive 6-month deferment automatically, and they will get notified through email, or it's already directly on their loan. So as far as that's why we're trying to help out accommodate for the idle loans. For our deadline is on May 10th. So we suggest everybody to apply until we have that deadline, and that's why we're there. It's there because a lot of people realize that later on down the line that they need this economic injury disaster loan in most disasters, but here it's instantly. This as far as so that's why we just suggest it's like you said, it's an option. It's there. You're not obligated to accept the loan. So you have that 6 months. So after that, it would be very difficult to. You would just have to provide an explanation to why you were not able to apply during that deadline. So we have translated for 11 languages to help serve the community in fact sheets, press releases, and this is all in English, Japanese, Tagalog, Marshallese, Ilocano, Spanish, Vietnamese, Tongan, Chinese, Samoan, and Hawaiian. So we're just trying to, and this is for Maui County and the contiguous counties can receive our economic injury disaster loan. So we're just trying to help out everybody, at least anybody that has a language barrier. At least they can get, and they need more clarity. At least they have the fact sheets there, and they also can bring it to them to the centers behind the Civic Center. There's interpreters there to help them specifically for that. So we're trying to always we can think of to at least they have that options that are available in clarity. That's the key, clarity for all these businesses out there.
I am just so grateful that you have that, and I really want to encourage people. I know it's uncomfortable if you don't speak the language or you're going through paperwork and you feel like you really don't understand. But I want you to know the SBA team, not only do they have everything in your language, but they have the interpreters. So just ask them. If you need an interpreter, please know it's not an additional cost for the interpreter. They have interpreters available, and they will get you that help you need. And it's all part of the process. It's making sure that you have a comfort level that as you're going through, these details, like you would go through with your banker, you want to make sure you understand everything clearly, and they've got awesome materials and people to help you. It really is a full-service organization that really understands businesses and is working with businesses every way they can to help. You also are, if a business needs additional help beyond applying for a loan or appealing and getting documents together,
right.
How do they go about doing that? I know you've got a portal.
That's the thing. We recommend to them, since the centers are there for them, they can get that one-on-one assistance. They can ask all the questions. They just need their application number to do reconsideration, ask for reconsideration, and they can help them out throughout that process. But of course, if they can't make it to the center, they have that 1-800 number, which is 1-800-659-2955, to help accommodate with them, and they can ask for their preferred language on there. So we have those options, but I do recommend for them to utilize the business recovery centers and disaster recovery centers, as well as disaster loan outreach center, to get that one-on-one assistance, especially with any type of language barrier. They have that there. And any questions that they may have, it's there. We're here to help everyone. We have a customer service representatives here, so to provide that guidance. That's the key, the guidance.
And I really want to encourage, I know, people to ask for reconsideration. I know when you've applied for a loan and you've been turned down, it's a little discouraging, particularly when you're going through so many different issues. But the SBA does want to hear from you. If you still need the loan and you were turned down, they're working to see, what can be possible. And so, or if there's been some hiccups in the process, there was a technology change in this process during the recovery period. And so if there was a hiccup and you feel like, okay, well, I never heard back, if you haven't heard back, they will get back to you. So if you haven't heard, that shows you we've got a hiccup. So we want you to get back in touch with us and, get back in touch with their team. Look up your information on the portal. You can call the chamber. We're here to help you walk it through and connect you with the SBA as well. We are working through those hiccups. So especially if you didn't hear anything back. The other thing is check your emails and maybe even check your junk mail file because they do a lot of information by email.
Yep. Thank you for that. That's what I wanted to mention. I was about to mention that.
Thank you.
Yeah, that junk mail. Yeah, a lot of people had told me they didn't receive it, but then I told them, please check your junk, your spam, and they saw it there. So thank you for helping that out. And I told you that thank you for all the partnership that we, without you all and providing this information and it really helps out all these businesses out there. And like I said, like you mentioned, it could be just missing one document, a missing document. That's why we don't discourage applications. We're here to help and guide you through all this difficult time for everyone.
Well, and you have been doing, thank you, and you have been, you and the team have been doing an awesome job. Let's talk about, we've been talking about how to get people in the door, but let's talk about all the exciting loans that have been given out in Hawaii so far.
So far, we have loaned over $293 million, and that's including homeowners, home loans, and businesses. So that's of course, we still we have a lot to go as far as to help out these businesses out there, but we're here to be supportive and guide them through this process. But this is the positive. At least people have received their economic injury disaster loans right now, and that's helping them keeping their business afloat. So that's the key. That's why I just want to tell you a little bit positive. As far as this is, and I appreciate you mentioning that because we're here just to provide this positivity and guide them through this time.
Yes, and you're doing an amazing job. Can you break that out for us a little bit? I know that you've been doing three types. You've done home loans, you've done business loans, and then you've been doing equipment loans. Do you have a breakout on that number?
So for businesses, loans approved. For home loans, the loans approved is 1,169. For businesses, it is 265. For economic injury, it is 350. Now, this is loans approved so far, and the grand total, which is so it's 1,784 loans. That's what I told you, home and business, and that's including that's 293,192,600. That's the exact amount of loans approved.
Okay, wow.
Dollars.
So you have been. I mean, this is a lot of different loans going. You have really been. You have been getting out a lot of 1,784 loans to 293 plus million is a lot of work that you've been doing, and I know that it's been coming fast and furiously. With
right.
So when it's been responding to the wildfires.
Yeah, I appreciate that. That's the truth. And when they do apply, they apply for, so when they do in the business loan, it's like basically the economic injury is together as all one loan, so they don't, it's not a separate loan. And then two different applications. One is a home application and one is a business. And also for private nonprofit organizations, they have that application. So as far as there's two applications. So we're just trying to help out, at least guide them also for nonprofits. It is low as 2.37% That's for the nonprofits as well. So for businesses, as low as 2.5.
Yeah, thank you. I want to say too that the chamber has an idle loan. We're a membership-based organization, and we were grateful to get an idle loan during COVID. When businesses can't afford to pay the key expenses, membership is. I think we're one expense above dues and we're dues. I think we're right above magazines and subscriptions. But anyway, it's a business expense that people struggle with during this time, and so we too, to make sure that we can provide the services, have gotten a loan from the SBA, and I really want to encourage people that this is an important resource, and we're so grateful to have it, not only to sustain the chamber, but we see firsthand the difference it makes in our businesses' lives here right now. We're seeing people who were really looking at a wall, and with this money, they can begin to pivot, and they can do it in a meaningful way, because this is the kind of money that they can offer through the loans that allows you to pivot. And in the meantime, some grants have come forward, and we've got some community help, and it's sustained people for a little bit of time, little extra money for a couple months of employees, keeping employees on payroll, or a couple months of rent, and every little bit helps. But the best way that we know at the chamber to help is to work with businesses across the island, and even some businesses who weren't on island that were impacted have applied, but not as many as people might think, very few. But this is the way to get some of the money that will really help sustain your operation. And the timing is so flexible. So if you've got debt, you're worried about taking on more debt, at least talk to the SBA team. Call Wayne Wong at the Small Business Development.
Exactly, yeah.
Call me in the chamber. There's a whole host of people that are wrapping their arms around you to say, we're here to help. And
it's a team effort.
Have offers to make a difference. So...
and I don't want to add... Yeah.
Yes, go ahead, Barbara.
No. I don't want to interrupt you. I didn't mean to. Go ahead.
Oh, no. I was going to turn to you.
No. Okay. No, I was going to say it because I do have my colleague on the call, Sushil Kumar, if he wanted to add anything.
I would love to have Sushil on. Sushil, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
I have to thank you and Barbara and the team there for the extraordinary work that you folks have done. Of course, a special thank you to Amber Koutsos. And please let me know what else we can do for you. The SBA is committed to making sure that we lend as much money as possible to the affected folks at large. And, the number that Barbara mentioned, the $292 million or so that we have lent so far, is really a very small drop in the bucket. When I say that, it basically means that there's so much more work to be done. There's so many folks that are looking for monies. So we need your help. And you've been absolutely amazing in opening some doors. And we want to help as many people as possible. So if you could help us, lots of work to be done still, and I'm sure that's something that people in the field know. If you could come to us, share with us what needs to be done, and we'll be glad to assist you with getting the impediments removed to get your loan approved. Not all loans will be approved, and we know that, but we are trying to do the best we can to provide as much liquidity and bring the tax base back in Maui County and other areas that have been affected profoundly.
Thank you so much, Sushil. And for those listening, I just want you to know that Sushil is my new contact, and we have been briefly working together, but are starting on a path. And the path is work that's been underway, which is, again, if you didn't get a loan and need to apply for reconsideration, or if you haven't heard, and we are bird dogging things. We're trying to find out any way we can help, and we can't promise a loan. But what we can promise is that you'll get as much consideration as we can possibly give that the SBA has available to consider, all options and explore those to the fullest extent possible. And loans are coming as a result of the amazing effort. And as you can hear from what Barbara shared, loans are coming, and it's nice to know, Sushil, that there's more that can be given out. If this is a drop in the bucket, this is great news, because we really want to say, folks, there is more help available, so don't hesitate to reach out.
And not only that, we just want to... Yeah, go ahead.
And, it's institutional pillars like you, Pam, that helps us with the lay of the land, right? And we are seeking for your leadership, your local leadership, but overall as a chamber person, to make sure that we leave no stone unturned in helping the community, because it's a real good grace of God and fortune that we found someone like yourself. I know I speak on behalf of my interactions with you. It's a newfound friendship and relationship, and I've thoroughly enjoyed the passion that you bring to the equation. So please help us help the community at large, and we stand ready to assist the needs of the many. And I appreciate it. I look forward to talking with you offline. And I have another call to jump on with Texas. There is a wildfire there also, so prayers to them also. And so with that, I'm going to sign off and leave you in very capable hands of Barbara. And if you need me, please look forward. I look forward to having you reach out to me. And please thank Amber Kusos and her extraordinary skills in putting all this together.
Bless you. I will. Thank you so much, Cecile. And I'll talk to you soon. Our hearts and prayers go out to those in Texas. And thank you for helping them as you've helped everybody. We so appreciate you. And thank you for your kind words.
Thank you, ma'am. Take care of yourself. Bye, Barbara. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Barbara, well, is there anything else you'd love to share?
Yeah, I want to mention for next week, because I want to elaborate, I want to help out to at least explain what our resource partners are, so at least people understand so it's just trying to get Operation Hope and Small Business Development Center to at least see our nice partnership all together, like you said, of what free resources is out there, and especially at that Business Resource Assessment Center to at least have that type of guidance that is needed for many businesses out there. So I just wanted to mention all that. That's what I was looking to at least provide that information next week.
Yeah, that is awesome. Well, we are so grateful to have you on the show, and thank you for all that you do. It has been a great pleasure having you on, and we'll continue to do these periodic updates and keep people informed.
Thank you. I appreciate you all, and thank you for your time, and thank you to Cindy.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it.
Always appreciate the information. Thank you.
Thank you, and have a good day, everyone. Take care.
Bless you. Thank you, Barbara. You guys have a great day, too. For those listening, I just really want to encourage everybody. We always talk about the coconut wireless, and this is the time. The reason I really want to encourage people is that more and more businesses now, as they're doing their taxes, are finding out kind of the loss they actually incurred after the wildfires, or unfortunately directly impacted by the wildfires. And, it's really tough. And I can't tell you how many heartbreaking stories we've heard where sometimes people have been turned down by the loan and they were very frustrated. And there was, maybe they were turned down and didn't even realize it because there was emails, or sometimes we've actually found that people weren't turned down. They actually received the loan but didn't see the notice. And then maybe they missed the chance to send in one document or two documents that were needed. We've also heard some stories where things have been lost in the portal, or people were turned down but really need the help, and maybe they just need a little tweak here or there that would put them in position to get a loan. So I want to really encourage everybody listening today that if you know a business owner who's struggling, have them call us at the chamber. If they're wanting to consider the loan and they haven't, If there was a hiccup and they got stuck, you can email us at office, OFFICE, at mauichamber.com. We are working with the SBA team to give them a list of names of people who need some help, and maybe they don't know if they were approved, or they feel like somebody hasn't gotten back to them, or something got lost in on the web, or they've been turned down, but they really need the assistance. We are going to try everything we can. And as Sushil said, right now the funding that's been given out is a drop in the bucket, so we've got more funding. This isn't the case of there isn't more money to give out. And in other situations, we've seen that, right? Money was given out, and that was all that was available. In this case, there is more money to be given out. So let's do everything we can to get as much help for our businesses that are hurting, because they are doing everything they can to keep their employees employed, to keep our local families on island, to help people have options so they don't have to look at moving off island, and to sustain their families. So please share this message far and wide. Again, our number at the Chamber is 808-244-0081, 808-244-0081. You can leave a message there. And you can also email us at office@mauichamber.com. And if you have a loan number that you can share with us, you can give us your business name, your name, and your loan number, and we can take that back to the SBA, and they will start bird dogging this to see what else they can do. And then we will make sure that you're on a tracking list. And we're literally tracking and making movement every few days on trying to help a number of people. And we've had great success. We've seen people get loans. Often there's options. There's a loan available, and some cases, like a regular bank loan, you might have to put a lien on some property. But we've seen cases where they offer two options, where if you don't want to deal with the lien on your property, you don't have to do that. It's a smaller loan amount, but it can still be significant. And we've seen people who would put a lien on their property and are getting, extraordinary amounts of money, which will carry them over a course of a year in operational costs to really give them that time to move forward. So it's everything, and we can't promise anything specific, but amazing things really are happening. And so I just wanted to share that with you. I also want to share a little bit about our business Maui, but we have a big event coming up, and it's going to be this Saturday, and there's still time to get involved. But before I do, I know, Cindy, you mentioned this as well. We lost a really amazing lady yesterday. If you haven't heard, sadly, Gladys Bisa, former Maui County Council member and former MEO CEO, passed away. And, if you didn't know Gladys, I know so many did. She was just one of those beautiful, bright lights and dynamic forces and a fearless rural community champion. So many people know Gladys. But, she worked as head of MEO, developing phenomenal programs for many years of her life that benefited countless individuals. And many of those programs still exist today. She was a woman who was a great leader and always kind and generous with her time to lift up and help other individuals when you were maybe young in your career, or quite frankly, she helped people who were young in their career or older in their career, but always had great advice. She was a fierce supporter of nonprofits. She educated all on the important role they play in communities. She led by example. She provided training and networking and support to uplift other nonprofit leaders as their organizations and help them be responsible managers of nonprofit organizations. I got to serve with her for a brief period of time in my life as a Rotarian, and she truly exemplified service before self. Mm-hmm. She assisted with humanitarian projects near and far. But if you know, she had a true love for serving Mexico. And there was a time I thought she might move to Mexico. She loved it so much. But she loved Maui. And she was a very strong and tireless advocate for the people of Maui and our beautiful island. And on top of that, she was an amazing wife, her husband Sherman, a mother of 3, a grandmother of many, and really a cherished friend. So I hope your thoughts and prayers will be with her family and the MEO team and her friends. It was tough news to receive, for me, unexpected. But anyway.
She's truly a lady who made a huge difference and left a legacy. Absolutely. What an amazing life of service, as you mentioned. And I think that's an example for many people to follow. It's a hard example because a lot of people couldn't do what she did, and which is so selfless, But over the years, we just were always impressed with her kindness, her love, her ability to help so many people. So thank you, Pam, for that.
Well, thank you. And you're absolutely right. If you can follow in her example, you will have a life well lived and a life that will be remembered because she did so much for so many. And it's people like that we need as leaders in our community.
Absolutely.
Yeah, she was dogged. She was. I always say, the thing about her is she was a very loving and compassionate person. She operated with grace, even through politics and political situations. But she was strong, she was wise, and she had some serious grit.
Mm-hmm. And it takes that, as you are. Should we take a break and hear from Mokulele?
Yes, let's take a quick break, and then we'll talk about business after that.
Okay.
Mokulele Airlines operates the largest commuter airline hub in the country, right here in Kahului. Fly Mokulele from Kahului to Molokai, Lanai, Hana, Waimea, Kona, and now Hilo. Mokulele also operates the only flights between Kapalua and Honolulu. There is never a middle seat on Mokulele, and every seat has a window and aisle. Visit mokuleleairlines.com and take your next flight from the newly renovated Mokulele Terminal.
And I'm so glad that you have Mokulele as a sponsor, Pam, because they do serve. Talking about service, my gosh, what an important service to be able to go to Molokai and to other. We wouldn't be able to really function well without them. So I thank Mokulele Airlines for being a sponsor for so long on Business Matters.
Oh, they are an amazing supporter. And as you said, particularly I've been talking to people on Molokai lately. They really value and need the service from Mokulele Airlines. They stepped in at a very challenging time. And so we're grateful that they're still there, and I know there has been some challenges with service lately, but I know that they're working through everything and really just a critical service for the island of Molokai. I want to also say, in terms of tremendous supporters, we are so thrilled to have Alaska Airlines be our title sponsor for BizMix Maui 2024. This is the only fundraiser the Chamber actually does for themselves to raise funds for our programs, which allow us to leverage our staff and the work that we do and support different efforts that are sort of above and beyond our regular work that we do. We spend our days every day helping the business community and helping our members, But in times like COVID and times like the wildfires, whether you're a member or not, we are here to serve. And we want you to call us because we're here to help. And we can direct you to many other amazing people who are also here to help you, as well as make needed connections to service providers or people who can take a load off of you. During times like COVID and the wildfires, many of our members can't afford to pay their dues, which means that, then the Chamber also has to look at additional fundraising for itself to keep our regular services up. But during these times, our work has really, with the wildfires, I said during COVID our work has doubled. But during the wildfires, our work has kind of tripled as we've not only taken on some real hand-holding and direct work as a liaison with the SBA to help keep things moving, but also with housing being a critical priority for Maui County, where I know we all know how important it is to get those impacted by the wildfires secure in housing so they can get some normalcy in their life, secure in housing so that we can get their pets back. And we had a shortage before. Obviously, that was exacerbated by the wildfires. But we are doing a lot of work and working with FEMA, working with the construction industry in Maui, working with developers who have temporary home structures. And as a result of some of the work FEMA, did over a week ago, they did a session to help people get registered with FEMA. And if you are in this arena where you can help with housing solutions and you haven't registered with FEMA and gone through the SAMS.gov federal registration, you have to get what they call a D&B number as well to do work. Now's the time. And the reason now's the time is they're going to come out with some RFPs very shortly. I think, I'm having a discussion with them today. I think next week is when the RFPs are coming out. We've put out a notice throughout our membership to say, hey, be paying attention. RFPs are going to come out.
Pam, can you explain what some people may not know what RFPs are?
Oh, thank you. It's a request. Thank you. We are alphabet soup these days. An RFP is a request for proposal. So as they're looking to help with getting housing in place here on Maui, and as they're looking to address the housing needs of those impacted by the wildfires, they're putting out a request for proposal. So they're going to tell us what kinds of housing and what kinds of things they need, and we're going to work very hard to get as many local businesses, by local I mean on island first businesses. That doesn't, if we need additional expertise, then we want to look throughout Hawaii second, but we want to build capacity here, keep jobs here. Construction jobs are phenomenal jobs. There's some new amazing technologies in this arena for housing. Sometimes your temporary housing looks just like a permanent housing. It can be designed in the same style. It can be, the number of rooms you need, and it can be movable. So we want to encourage people who've been impacted to look at this process. There's new amazing models that are emerging. And there are ways where temporary houses that people move into could be their permanent houses, but there's a goal because right now we've put people in, many people have been put in vacation rentals and short-term housing solutions for a longer term. So in other words, 12 to 18 months. And during that 12 to 18 months, it's our goal at the Chamber to get as many housing units built. Now, it's been our goal to get housing moved for the last several years. We did two housing forums pre-COVID in 2017 and 2019. Housing for those who would be happy to live in apartments or duplexes. We are looking at all housing solutions. Not everybody necessarily wants a house with a yard. We are also looking for options where people can maybe even have like a duplex or a condominium that's built specifically like an old model, which was, the Harbor Lights condominiums where you had private ownership, local ownership of those condominiums. So we're looking at all options to get housing built, but housing built in ways where we can sustain people in their housing, where they can have some ownership and move up, where if they're not ready for ownership and have just really need affordable rentals, we need everything and we need all options on the table, but we're looking for the right options.
Yes.
We're looking to do this well and right and quickly. And so we're very excited about that.
And I just want to jump in here and say about what you just said, so true, right and quickly. I was talking to someone who owns AAA tiny homes. A lot of people have been hearing about these, and then some people have been going online to buy models. Unfortunately, some of the models being bought are cheaper and are not really designed to stand up well to Hawaii winds, to Hawaii standards of what you need here with insulation, etc. So the right part's important. If you are going to go that option, which is a really valid consideration for some people, make sure it's done right. Sometimes cheap isn't, in the cases, especially if you're ordering from the mainland and you don't know exactly what you're ordering. Sometimes cheap actually can cost you more.
Yes, and I do want to say I've even heard a couple of examples of stuff bought locally. So, we're really working with developers, and we're really working with people who understand all those requirements and can certify that, that they've got fire protections, that they have hurricane ratings that meet the winds in Hawaii. We've seen a lot of heavy winds lately.
Yep.
And of course, we may see more. We're watching sweeping things across the nation. So make sure you're working with experts. I know people right now are desperate for housing, and they just want to be back together and have some normalcy and cook together. So, we're at a time where, again, we're sometimes grasping at the first straw that looks like it'll meet some of those needs. But make sure, talk to your insurance company, because they'll want to know about those ratings as well. So make sure that you're looking at solutions that work, because we want, cash right now is precious, and we don't want you investing in a solution that you're going to find out is not going to stand the test of time. And by the test of time, I'm talking 20 plus years, right? Houses usually last over 30 years when they're well built. So we want to make sure that you're getting good solutions.
And I wanted to ask a question, Pam, because first of all, let me chime in that, yes, the Chamber is such an amazing support for our local business and small business. And no one else is really doing what you're doing. You and Amber are doing an amazing job. So I do want to encourage people to go to the Biz Mix and support you that way. But also maybe just to join the Chamber in case you haven't. I don't think people really understand. Some people don't know how hard you work for local businesses. So I know, and I really appreciate the work. I do appreciate the work that you are doing. It's so important, and you are an advocate. I was super impressed with how you've worked with the Small Business Administration and work with people to help get that passed. I am concerned, as you are, about housing, and I did want to bring up that, unfortunately, what's happened with FEMA, trying to be helpful, and you've been in contact with all the people there, but some people have been using the higher prices offered by FEMA to get people into housing and have raised the rates and the cost of their rentals. In some cases, I have heard actually doubled the cost of their rentals when they heard what FEMA was willing to offer people to be able to help people get into rentals. Have you heard that?
I have, and here's the amazing thing. I'm having a meeting this morning with FEMA, who reached out to me because of some of the comments that I've made, and we're going to be having a discussion on that.
Yeah, I've heard of people who had homes for rent for like $3,500 who literally doubled it to $7,000 for rent. And
sadly, because of the published number of over $9,000, that number is out there far and wide. So, and it's I wish I could. Well, I don't wish this at all, to be honest with you. Yeah, sadly, it's both on the homeowner side, and not homeowners, but rental side as well as commercial rental side.
Yes.
So
yes.
It's something that we're working really, really hard to address.
Yeah, it's a huge problem, as you know, and I'm glad you're able to talk to FEMA. I also heard about FEMA offering money to people who were offering free meals, but then by the time the money went from FEMA, which was sometimes offering like $45 a meal to the people offering it, restaurants, free meals, then it went to Red Cross, and then it went to Salvation Army, and by the time it got to the business, the restaurant offering free meals, from the $45, they'll end up getting $12. So FEMA, with good intentions, sometimes people don't understand what happens in between FEMA and when it gets to our local business or people.
Yeah, and that's what they're wanting to understand. They're wanting to know, and they're here to serve, and they're here to serve our community, and they're having to learn that Hawaii is very different from many other regions.
Yeah,
but they're open. And they're open, and in fact, as I mentioned, they literally have heard things that I've said, and we have a good relationship. So they're reaching out, saying, they're here to learn more and see what they can do.
And communication is so important, and thank you for that, because there is, you talked about the coconut wireless. People hear things, but sometimes they don't hear all the story and don't understand what really is going on behind the scenes. So I know you really dig deep to try to do that, and it's so important. And people need information, not just from the coconut wireless, but from a source that really is a source you can trust. Because I can't tell you how many stories I've heard that if you really did any research, it's like, oh no, that's not really the story, right? You've heard that too, right?
No, that's so true. Well, I do want to tell people, we are here to serve, and we do want to invite you to come to BizMix if you can this Saturday. I want to make sure we thank Alaska Airlines as our deep ocean sponsor. We've got our deep sea sponsors, Alpha Inc., HC&D, Pacific Media Group, our big swell sponsors, Aina, Lonnie, Pacific, Lehua Builders, and Encore, and our Coral Cove sponsors, Goodfellow Brothers and Pacific Rim Land, and Kauai Radio Group. Thank you, Cindy, for your great support. We're going to have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And we're going to support businesses this Saturday at the Grand Wailea Resort, Maui. So you can find out more at mauichamber.com, and we'd love to have you join us, network, learn more about us, and we'd love to have you join as well.
Well, that's all the time we have, Pam, but it's always informative and great talking to you. Thank you for what you do.
Thank you, Cindy. Thank you for all you do to keep our community informed and to give us all a voice on KAOI.